What do you believe? This is the topic for today. Believe it or not, this is it. Your last lesson session of confirmation. What a journey you all have had. A journey unlike any other confirmation class. This last session, you will be thinking over the whole year, really your whole life, carefully, reflecting on what it is that you believe. Here is what I want you to do this week, and I have notes here with me so I don't forget any of it. First, I need you to read Joshua chapter 3 verse 7 through chapter 4 verse 7, and then Romans chapter 6 verses 3 and 4. The Joshua reading is really cool. Most of us know that God parted the waters for the Israelites once. But did you know that God actually did it twice? God did it when they left Egypt, and then God parts the waters again when they come into the promised land. So at the beginning of their journey and at the end of their journey, God parts the waters. Now, it wasn't actually the end of the journey for the Israelites. It's more like the end of the beginning of their journey. Kind of like confirmation is for you. This journey in confirmation began with water. We are reminded about how, for most of you, you were baptized as infants. And we want to remember that baptism. And it ends with you confirming that baptism, making your own proclamation of faith. When you were brought at baptism as an infant, you were brought with the faith of your parents. Now you get to make your own profession of faith. Now, after you're done reading carefully the Bible passages, turn to pages 112 and 113 of the Big Journal. And on those pages, I want you to answer how your confirmation crossing has been like the Israelites' crossing of the Jordan. Who has helped you in your confirmation crossing? Now, I don't want you just to think about just in the past year of confirmation lessons, but I want you to think throughout your life, who has helped you build your faith, learn about the faith, to get you to this point in your faith. And what times in your life have you seen God's presence? The Israelites used a stone to mark the event. How would you like to mark the event? What symbol will you use that you can have in your life that you can look at and always be reminded of what you are proclaiming on Confirmation Sunday? And to mark the other events in your life when you especially felt God's presence. Now, I do want you, though, to find a stone, because that's what the Israelites used. They used a stone to remind them. I want you to find a really cool stone this week. Take your time. Don't pick the first rock you see. And then put that rock in your room so that every time you see that rock, you are reminded. You are reminded of your confirmation crossing. Then on page 114 of the Big Journal, okay, write down questions you still have about the faith. Did we answer all of your questions about what Christianity is, about what following Jesus is all about? I hope not. I'm sure we didn't, because this is not the end of your journey. This is the end of the beginning of your journey. This is a lifelong journey, being a disciple of Christ, and you will have questions all the time, all along the way, that you will seek to find answers to. I will tell you this, being a disciple of Christ is the most meaningful, purposeful, satisfactory, the thing that will bring you the most satisfaction in life over anything else you will ever do. And we are excited for the beginning of the end, I think I got that right, of your journey of confirmation, but what else is going to happen throughout the rest of your life after you make this proclamation that you will on Confirmation Sunday. Then look over the questions, the big questions on page 115 of the big journal. Those are the questions that I will ask you on Confirmation Sunday. Look through them carefully. Please let me know if you will not be able to answer any of those questions in the affirmative so that we can talk about that. Then on page 118 and 119 on the what? Yes, that's right, the big journal. You have already started this section about what it is that you believe. Now I want you to finish your faith statement. I want you to look through the big journal, through everything that we have talked about, but I also want you to think about all of the lessons you have ever had at church, and then take some time finishing writing about what it is that you believe. And then I will use what you write, all of you write as a class together, to put together a faith statement that we will lead the congregation in on Confirmation Sunday. Then on page 120 and 121 of the big journal, it talks about how the Israelites were carrying the Ark of the Covenant into the Promised Land. And the Ark of the Covenant was very, very sacred to the Israelites. God is everywhere, but God was especially there. And it reminded them of God's presence in their lives. So on page 120 and 121, I want you to think about all the times in your life that you have especially felt God's presence in your life. What symbols help you remember those that represent those moments? I want you to draw those symbols in your ark on page 120 and then explain what they're about. What happened in those moments and why those symbols on page 121. And if you could send me a picture of all of these pages that you work on this week, that would be great. Because like I mentioned before, I'm going to use them to help develop our own faith statement for Confirmation Sunday. Now, unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure when Confirmation Sunday will be. We're planning on May 31st. That may be hopeful thinking. That is our plan for right now. I will let you know if that plan changes. But I will do another video about what will happen on Confirmation Sunday, what to expect to happen, and what you'll need to know as the day comes closer, as we find the official date for sure when you will be confirmed. So look for that video. I'm sure we'll send out notices to you all when we're going to post that. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going great. We miss you and we cannot wait to see you all again. God bless.
Say hey, it's a good day, even if things aren't going my way.